Good morning, afternoon, and evening. Thank you for being here with me today. Again, my name is Alexander William Elliott. I'm a certified financial and tax advisor and a certified pro with QuickBooks Online. I have 30 years of experience. I'm also CEO and president of A.W. Elliott and Associates. We are a comprehensive financial and tax advisory firm. Okay, so we're at part 3, how to resolve some of these issues. Like in part 1 and 2, we went over good record keeping, not ignoring your tax liability, tax evasion, tax fraud, frivolous tax returns, failure to file, writing bad checks. And we covered in 2, this is 1 and 2, but in 2 we covered the penalties that are associated with some of these things. Okay, and again, they can do an internal audit, okay, which basically means they're not going to meet with you. They're not asking you to come in and bring your receipts. They'll do an in-person audit. They'll do it internally, send you a letter, and then at that point, with good record keeping, you know what you can and cannot do as far as hopefully you have all of your records to substantiate those returns, those deductions rather. So, and if you don't want to deal with it, you could hire a certified pro such as myself, okay? Now, I've had it where they did not receive a letter, they received a tax bill. You owe us $28,000, that one client. So anyway, we requested the letter that shows the adjustment. That took about 7 or 8 months to receive, and successfully he ended up not owing the $28,000. Again, do not volunteer any information. Just stay with what they're asking for. Okay. Now, some ways to resolve these issues that you have that comes up. Now, I would say outside of tax evasion, tax fraud, and frivolous tax returns, there's no turning back from that. Okay. You may go to jail. You may pay up to 75% of the tax that owed as a penalty, plus an additional $5,000 and jail time. So there's no remedy with that. Just hire you a good lawyer. Okay, that's what you're gonna need. So, but you can do what they call an OIC, an offer and compromise. Okay, I touched a little bit on this on part 2, where let's say you owe 10 grand. Okay, and let's say you're in a hardship situation, you owe 10 grand. Hardship situation is where you can't afford, even though you owe money, you can't pay them any money monthly. Okay, so you do an offer and compromise. Well, we're in a hardship situation, and that's not based on income. If you can't pay them, monthly, you're in a hardship situation. That's not based on, if you make over a certain amount of money annually, you can't do an offer and compromise. You can't. So say you owe 28,000, or we said 10,000, and you're in a hardship situation. That makes it any better. Makes it better to say, hey, we'll offer you $500 because I'm never going to pay this off. Unless I hit the lottery, I'm never going to pay this off. So it's a process. There's a lot of paperwork involved, and you can do the federal and the state. Okay, and it takes a minute. It may take 6 or 7 months for it to get approved, but in the meantime, okay, they can't levy or put any additional, requests for income for payments. Okay, so if you're already making payments, you may have to continue to make those payments, and sometimes not. Okay, but offer and compromise, hardship situation we just talked about. If you can't pay them back, there's no, if you make $100,000, you can't pay them back, then they're going to put you in a hardship status, or maybe you can only pay $100 a month or $200 a month. So all that, as far as that process is concerned with the hardship, they'll go through all that. Okay, offer and compromise, hardship situation, You can file an amended return, where I've had one client where he didn't claim all of this. Again, he was with a bad tax professional. And I found out after going through all of his records, he didn't deduct everything that he was entitled to. So when we filed the amended return, it shows those additional deductions. And we eliminated the additional amount that IRS said that he owed, or in some cases, I got the money back. So, that's how you can work with amended return. So, but I always, as a certified tax professional, I really spend the time with my clients to find out, to make sure that they're deducting everything. So it could be 2 or 3 meetings after our additional meeting, or a phone meeting. And I'm questioning them about a lot of stuff that they're doing. And did you write this off? Did you write this off? Because I can give you a form. You may not know what you're eligible to write off. So that's how I approach it. So to make sure that you're taking advantage of everything that you're entitled to. Now I'm going to share some actual cases that I had. I had one client where she had rental property. Okay. The property was vacant, even though she was trying to rent the property out. So she still had the interest of the mortgage payment, taxes, upkeep, all that. So we went back 3 years, okay, and deducted all of those expenses, got it back about $10,000, $12,000. Okay. The tax professional on there was certified, but the tax person did not write those off. I don't know if she questioned her. Anyway, it just didn't happen. Okay. Again, I mentioned the client that owed $28,000 internal audit. Again, I went through and had him go back for those years, because it was like 3 years. And it took him a while to get all of his documentation, and get poor record keeping. Okay. But he ended up not paying the $28,000. But it took some time to get his records together. I had another client, this was a little while back, where he didn't file for 7 years. Came to me, thought he was going to owe all this money, come to find out, he got a return. Over those 7 years. That could be 1 year, I don't remember specifically. I think 1 year he owed, the next year he got a return, blah, blah, blah. And of course, IRS has to pay you interest on that money also. So that's another case. So even if you haven't filed, okay, doesn't mean you're going to owe. Okay, but you got to get it done. And then if you don't file, what IRS does, they will just they won't give you no deduction. They're going to say it's your income standard deduction, which is the max that you can pay. They're not going to sit down like I would do and say, okay, you can itemize deduct. You can itemize your return, or you can write this off. They're not going to do that. They're going to send you a bill. Okay. And it's going to be the max amount of taxes, as if you were, if you're married with no deductions, unless you got kids. So when you get the notice from IRS and you haven't filed, you need to take that in consideration too. Or again, talk to a certified, tax professional. Also, I'm seeing more and more cases where the tax return is not filled out properly, or it's incomplete. And again, I just mentioned that where clients are eligible for deductions they didn't have. Another client where she had unreimbursed employee expenses. Okay. They didn't write that off for the last, 2, 3 years, because you're going to go back 3 years. So we gathered those up, had her gather all her records, and got her a return based on the unreimbursed employee expenses that weren't filed. Okay. So that's how we do business. That's how a certified tax professional should do business. Like I said, I spend time making sure that you are deducting everything that's entitled to you. So, it may be an initial interview to get all your documentation. And then once I go through the documentation, I'm looking at what you're doing. I may have some additional questions. Well, did you write, did you have expenses in this area, expenses in this area, expenses in this area? So, and, you know, then you're emailing me, you know, this documentation. And obviously it's best for the client because you get a bigger refund and you're writing off what you're entitled to. Okay. Matter of fact, I'm kind of like the fixer. A lot of people that I've been getting here having a problem, I fix it. So maybe I should change my title to the fixer. Okay, but I do fix their problem. I have been getting a lot of clients that have problems, so I'm happy to be able to do that for them. All right, well, that's the end of part 3. We're going to be doing another series on business owners. Okay, I got some case studies for you on that. If you're a freelance 1099er, you know, LLC, C Corp, S Corp, doesn't matter. We're going to go through some stuff that you need to do and some situations that you may get yourself into and how to resolve those issues. Okay. So that's going to be the next one I'm going to do is going to be for business owners. Okay. Well, thank you for attending all 3. If I can be of service, let me know. If you have any questions, feel free to get a hold of me. I'll get talking too fast. So anyway, thank you. Hope this was informative and answered some questions, or if not all, questions that you have about dealing with the IRS. Okay. Have a great rest of the day. Wear your mask. Be safe. Okay. Social distance. And we'll see you soon. Thank you.